Hello, Fearsome Beaver here with what I promised was an update on the serial killer Tales of Slumlord story I was telling before. So, as I stated probably in my video before, I quit my job. I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad and see what I can do there, and hopefully be good at that. And so not a couple Fridays ago was my last day, but the Wednesday before, I was in my office doing whatever, I can't remember, and a gentleman walked in and said that he was a friend of a tenant, and he was trying to get a hold of this tenant. He was more than just a friend, he was also the guy's power of attorney and some kind of advocate. I can't remember if it was a medical advocate, maybe he called himself, I'm not sure. But he said that the tenant has some medical issues that have forced this man to have to commit him from time to time, which I thought that was pretty interesting. And I asked, okay, so who is this person? And it turns out that it was the guy I lovingly called the serial killer. Seems he was bipolar and schizophrenic and heavily medicated, and nobody had heard from him. So, like, from Friday night, I guess this gentleman went out to dinner with him on Friday, and then this guy had not been to work since. Which usually means that he wants to get access into the apartment to see what we may find, and I generally don't enjoy doing that. I'm not big on dead people. I'm not big on those kind of situations. I have had one prior, which maybe I'll tell about some other time, but kind of felt like Murtaugh from The Weapon. I'm like, I'm 2 days away from quitting. I really don't want to do this, and this guy's going on and on about how he's dangerous and all this, and I basically told him, I said, listen, I'm 2 days out from quitting, and I'm not putting myself in any position where I'm going to open the door and have this guy, attack me because I've allowed you access. I don't know if you're supposed to have access. It's like, well, I can go get paperwork to show that I'm who I am and everything. And I'm like, I just, maybe you should call the police. He's like, can we at least just knock on the door? Can we just knock on the door? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll knock on the door, that'll be it. So we walk over to the apartment building, and the minute we opened the door and walked into the hallway, I knew exactly what we were going to find. It smelled. I've never smelled a decaying body before. Now I have, and it isn't pleasant. And what amazes me about this whole thing is that I don't know how long it was smelling, maybe just that day, maybe the day before, but this apartment complex has 7 other tenants who live there, and how they were putting up with the smell and not amazingly calling to complain about it to me is strange and sad and kind of annoyed me. But anyway, we go out to the door. Somebody had laid all of his papers that he'd been receiving his New York Times in front of the door. So again, you got a smell, and this guy's got a pile of 5 papers in front of his door. How come nobody put 2 and 2 together and decided to call me or call someone? I just think people just ignore obvious situations like that, which is sad. But we knocked on his door just for shits and giggles, and eventually I just said alright, and I opened the door, and we walked in, and the smell was way worse once you opened the door, and of course we found this gentleman had died. I don't have access to Emmy reports, or I'm not involved enough to find out. It wasn't something the police were going to release to the gentleman so that he could call a funeral home. They did wait get the medical examiner over, and the medical examiner investigated the body and decided that an autopsy needed to be done to find out what the cause of death was. Could have been overdose, could have been suicide, could have been heart attack, could have been, I guess, a number of things. I don't know what it turned out to be. But having a long conversation with this gentleman, it seemed that I wasn't too far off on my initial reactions to this man when he first came in, and the weird things that he did that I explained in my other videos. Which I guess the good thing I can take from it is that I have a good sense of character. I can spot someone who might be a little off or might be a little dangerous. I don't know how that's going to help me in the future, but it's good to know that I had that. But basically, that was it. So I can't complete any more stories about him because he unfortunately has left us. So that was just a quick little video, give you a recap of that, and I got some more coming up, and what an idiot.